good, my people? It's your boy ZFX. We're here with another video. We're doing a breakdown on our favorite NAS100, US 100, whatever you want to call it. Here's the trade that was taken today. Beautiful trade. 1-to-11 risk reward ratio, my people. This is not something to brag about, but I am quite happy today with this trade here. As you can see, this is literally what we have right now. Okay, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to delete everything, start from scratch, show you guys how I actually found this trade. That's how you do it. Alright, okay, first things first, looking at this here from a daily time frame, it's as clear as day literally what this pair is doing. This pair is in a clear uptrend. So at the moment, you only look for buying opportunities when price approaches the trend line. That's what I would do. But that doesn't mean you shouldn't look for sell opportunities. When you're in a clear uptrend, it's okay to find sell opportunities, but you have to be tight with your entries, your exits, your profit targets, and everything there. You actually have to be so tight, because these things can literally mess you up. When you're in a clear uptrend, price can literally wick you out and just shoot back to the upside. But in the meantime, you can't trade in between that. Right, with that being said, let's dive in further, see exactly what's happening. Right, as you can see, price made a new high over here, starting to move a little bit like this, right? Oh, we need to pay attention. Price made a new high, it came back to retest the lows over here, which is good. But price has not broken these lows, meaning like price could still be in a nice uptrend from what I can see here. On top of that, like price could literally just now start moving in its own channel like this until it reaches the third tap. So first tap, second tap, third tap, and then plummet down to the downside, maybe here to keep pushing up. But that's just what I've noticed. When you backtest a certain pair, you do notice certain patterns do play out. So that's that right now on the daily time frame. But we're also gonna dive in a little bit further on the daily time frame to actually find out how we actually found our entry. Even though price made a new high over here, it failed here. Price pushed to the upside, making a new high. It came back to the downside here. It made a new low, but it failed to make a new high. So what happened now was there was a break of structure right here. Price had broken structure, so this is a nice indication for me to start looking for short opportunities when price had broken structure. And 9 times out of 10, when price breaks structure, it comes back to a nice supply zone, depending on your bias. If it's short, look for supply zones. If it's long, look for demand zones. So with that being said, what I had done, I had literally drew my fib from low to high. Price had literally came down to my final take profit, which is so good. On top of that, we can see here price came all the way to retest the beautiful supply zone to keep pushing to the downside. Simple as that. And we're only on the daily, my people. Let's dive into 4 hour, see what happened. So before all this had even happened, right, I had my descending trend line like so. Sorry, make that black. We had a descending trend line. First touch, second touch. Price is approaching here. The third touch should continue pushing to the downside. Same goes here. Boom. All the way down to the wick. I'll just do it like this for now to show you guys what's actually happening. On a bigger time frame, I do see a bull flag. That's what I see. It might play out, it might not, but you have to keep your options open. So from the daily time frame, with the fib that we had drawn, we could see that price had literally came to our first target profit -27, smashed it, then came to our second target profit, minus 68, smashed it. Literally when price came to a final take profit, it reversed. Good. This is something you need to take into consideration with pairs. What happens when it reaches your first target? Does it reverse impulse? What happens when it reaches your second target? Does it keep pushing or what? That's not up to me to tell you. It's up to yourself to backtest a pair and find out what's really happening. Now, I'm happy enough to delete that fib and show you exactly how I found the entry. So now we're in the 4 hour. What do we do next? But sorry, before we go into 4 hour, we just have to pay attention to something. Price literally on the higher time frame, it failed to make a new higher high. The same way here, it's a new higher low. Here, it did the exact same thing. It failed to make a new higher low, pushing to the downside. There was a nice order block right at that red line there. That was just something to take into consideration as well before that move had happened. Just see what was going on previously. Easy. Now we're going to 1 hour. This is when things get really interesting. So now on the 1 hour, it's quite evident to me how price history repeats itself. When you have an impulse, price will impulse with the trend. On the third touch, it likes to push to the downside. This is free smoke. Impulse 1, 2, 3, push to the downside. Impulse again 1, 2, 3, push to the downside. I don't need to tell you this, but it's something you need to figure out yourself. All I'm going to say is you need to backtest, because once you backtest, you know a pair off by heart. You know what it's going to do. You know how it acts. Okay, so that's just a quick example of that. And I'm just going to give you another example within my own example on why I actually took the trade to go short. As you can see here, impulse, boom. What happens next? Push to the downside. What did we have here? Impulse, nice corrective move. What's next? Now we know what is next is a push to the downside. Easy, right? Okay, now this is when things really get interesting. So we are on the 1 hour time frame at the moment. We had our first touch here, second touch, third touch. Sorry. First touch, second touch, third touch. Okay. Yep. First touch, second touch, third touch. On top of that, we had an ascending channel. Well, an ascending trend line. Yeah. Impulse, ascending trend line. Same goes for here on the left. But this, it doesn't matter, but it does matter because it's played out. But just for this video's purpose, I will just do it again for you guys. As you can see, history is repeating itself. Copy and paste. What's next? This is where in the market people will get caught on the wrong side of the market. Like price here, it did make a new high, you know, it came correctively to the zone here. A lot of people would have had buy orders here. I myself too, I fell in the trap by mistake until I had to realize, stick to your bias, stick to, like, if you got a trade set up, just make sure you stick to it. Don't keep switching your bias. That's why people lose a lot of money in trading, is when you have a bias there, it play like you enter, there's someone else, you see another bias online or something like that, then that makes you want to switch. Then you come back, you check on your trade, and guess what? It went your way. So obviously I had a buy set up here as well. I was in a little bit of profit. Literally after that, took me out of break even, it was a risk-free entry. So I was like, okay, let me not mess up my trading plan. What I did expect price to possibly, you know, impulse, move with correction here, boom, make a nice pennant, or maybe even a bull flag to continue pushing up here. That's what I really wanted. But from the daily time frame, what I knew was gonna happen was price is gonna have to break below here to come retest to push to the downside. This is literally on the 1 hour time frame. Now we'll dive in a little bit further to see what is really going on. So what's going on now? It's quite simple. So we just price made a new low over here when it had broken the ascending trend line. It made a new low. Okay, after it made that new low, what we do next, we just mark up the chart. Boom. So when price made this new low here, I knew myself that it's gonna come and retest at a zone of a significant zone. Okay, so that's when you go to your line chart. People, you need to use what trading view gives you. This is what makes everything so helpful. So from that Fibonacci there, it's quite simple what happens next. I then get my red line and I look to my point of entry. 78.60, 61.80. What's going on there? Here we have a clear supply and demand zone. Supply and demand zone. See? Support, resistance, support, resistance. If I put the candlestick pattern, it's easy. Resistance. It's acting as support, acting as resistance. Right after that, literally, these things you take with your eyes closed, my people. You take these trades with your eyes closed. So from here, my stop loss was somewhere up here, just above the zone. Came down all the way here. It was 1 to 11, I believe. But yeah, my trade was actually a 1 to 11, I believe. So yeah, boom, this was actual setup itself. I broke it down to you guys from start to finish. As you can see, like I said, this is a bull flag. Once it plays out for y'all people, let me know. We can come back here and we can just celebrate our wins, and we also celebrate our losses. So I will also document some losses that I have taken. I am going to make some further videos just discussing some things that do happen in the Forex market and the indices here, including stocks and everything like that. But without further ado, my people, I will leave it at that. Let there be peace in the Middle East, and let my brothers and sisters be safe.